I'm so excited to be recapping my Black Friday of 2025. But before I jump in and talk numbers, I want to talk a little bit about how I actually ran this year's sale because it does look very different than how I've ran Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales in the past. So, the past 3 years prior to 2025, I have ran my Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales pretty much exactly the same. It has worked really, really well. I have done six figures for the last 3 years, Black Friday and Cyber Monday combined. And this year, I wanted to just try something completely different, completely new. I really see Black Friday and Cyber Monday as a fun time to experiment, to try new things, and that is exactly what this year was. And I'm excited to talk a little bit more about whether or not it lived up to expectations. But first, let's talk about what my sales used to look like in the past in terms of structure. I would do anywhere between 2 to 3 pre Black Friday sales that were short, almost like mini flash sales. And these would happen in the first 1 to 2 weeks of November. And then during Black Friday, so starting on the day of Black Friday and the 2 days after, so Black Friday plus the 2 days after is when I would actually run my official Black Friday sale. And it would be one offer that is just discounted for those 3 days. And then on Cyber Monday would be my Cyber Monday sale. So it's Cyber Monday and the 2 days after. So I would run 2 3 day sales, but then I also had those mini pre sales. I called them my pre Black Friday sales that happened within those first 2 weeks of November. So in total, generally, I'm looking at anywhere between 4 to 5 different offers that are on sale during the month of November. And I really try to make sure that those pre sale offers are not competitive offers with the offers that I'm going to be putting out for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Black Friday is usually my signature offer, that is what goes on sale, the main thing that I want people to purchase. And then Cyber Monday is like a secondary offer that's like either really popular or something that is unique that I don't normally sell. So, like a bundle. And then those pre Black Friday sales are either on just other offers that I have. Maybe they're even new offers, like doing it as like a pre launch type of thing, or creating offers that I don't typically sell, like maybe a one-time coaching session, whereas normally I do 1 month or 3 month coaching sessions. So something like that. Now, this year, logistically, very completely different. The way that I saw this was a pre sale, but I wouldn't say this was like a typical pre sale. I launched scalability for the first 2 weeks of November, and I did see that as a pre sale. And I was strategically placing that launch there at the beginning of November, knowing that November is such a huge purchasing month. People have their cards out, they are spending lots of money because they know that that's when they're going to get the biggest discounts. And that's why running any type of deal promotion during the month of November is really, really, really powerful for your business because people know that that's when the best deals are being thrown out. So while that launch wasn't necessarily a typical pre-sale, like a pre-Black Friday sale, sorry, is what I'm trying to say. I did consider that and also did take that into account when I was looking at overall revenue for my month of November, as well as specifically for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I ran that for the first 2 weeks, and then there was a week break where I didn't have anything that was on sale, any promotions, and I really used that week to build up a lot of awareness for what was going to be taking place during the week of Black Friday, which was my 5 days of deals. I ran 5 deals that were 24 hours each, spanning from the Monday before Black Friday all the way through Black Friday. So it was November 24th through the 28th. I ran 5 days of deals, and each of those offers were either discounted or there was some type of bonus. I actually even pre-sold one of my offers that I will be officially launching in probably February of 2026. So that was one of the deals that you could grab, is early access to that. So basically becoming a beta member for that course. So there was a lot of different offers that were on sale, a big variety in terms of price points. And so I did that. And then I had so many messages from people, emails and DMs, and people emailing me multiple times actually, being like, oh my gosh, I didn't get access to this deal and it expired. Or, I was literally pulling out my credit card and like at checkout when it expired. And so I ended up bringing all 5 deals back for Cyber Monday for 24 hours only. So all 5 of those deals were available on Cyber Monday for 24 hours only. So that is logistically how I ran things this year. So like I said, very different than how I've ran that in years past. And let me just go through the numbers and I guess you'll be able to see how it went. So my goal just from just from Black Friday and Cyber Monday alone, so not including my pre-sale, which this year was my scalability launch. So not including that, my goal was $100,000 in revenue. So in the month of November, from scalability launch as well as my Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, I added $14,000 in monthly recurring revenue, bringing my overall total up to $36,000 per month in just monthly recurring revenue, which is really, really awesome. My scalability launch, so again, that was what I considered my pre-Black Friday sale. That did $16,000 in revenue just during the launch, but majority of the people who joined on a payment plan. So in total, it was about $100,000 launch, but that's including contracted revenue. So I actually don't include contracted revenue in my monthly total for the overall. So like when I share my November total, it's not including contracted revenue because that's money that's going to be coming in over the next year. And I don't count that money until it's actually in my bank account, until I've actually earned it. So technically it was like a 6-figure launch, but I only made $16,000 in the month of November. The rest of that money is going to be paid out over the coming 6 to 12 months, just depending on what payment plan people signed up for. I did have 3 people who purchased and paid in full, but the rest of them were all on payment plans. So my November total was $73,370 in revenue, but just from Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so not including anything to do with scalability, it was $24,968. So almost $25,000 in revenue. And I got 98 new customers, 174 repeat customers, and total I sold 272 offers. So lots happened. But that being said, if you're listening and you're good with numbers, you don't even have to be good with numbers to have heard that. My goal was $100,000 just from Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and I made just under $25,000. So about a fourth of what I was hoping to do. And this was the lowest in terms of just specifically looking at Black Friday and Cyber Monday. This was my lowest year that I've had for Black Friday and Cyber Monday since I started my business. So it's been about almost 3 weeks now since Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I've had some time to actually sit with this. But if I'm being completely honest with you, I was really, really disappointed, extremely disappointed. I shed many tears. Sometimes even when I think about it to this day, there are still tears that start to come up in my eyes because I actually spent probably 3 times the amount of time and energy prepping for this Black Friday sale than I had in years past. I'm talking building landing pages, more emails than I've ever sent. I think I sent out, in terms of sales emails, with the scalability launch as well as this Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, I think we scheduled out 42 sales emails. 42 sales emails just for the month of November, which is absolutely insane. That's so many emails. Whereas on a normal month, we send out 6 emails. So a normal month where there's no sale, no promotion, no launches or anything like that. That's what a normal month looks like. So on the email side, extreme increase in volume. I built out a landing page for Black Friday specifically, which was very strategic in that build out. And I increased social media content. I was posting 2 or 3 times per day on my feed for Instagram, and on Instagram stories I was posting my broadcast channel, I was posting inside my communities, I was sending out emails specifically just to like specific students, like segments, like people who purchased, this offer. I was sending them, an email saying like, hey, you can actually, get this special discount because you were a student and you've purchased in the past. So like that wasn't even included in all of the emails that I was just telling you that I sent. So there's just so many logistics and so much time and energy. Like I spent 3 months, almost solely for 3 months, prepping for the month of November. And to do a fourth of what my goal was really, really, really disappointing. Like to the point where I was like, what have I even been doing for the last 3 months? And on top of that, this year I went all out. Like I did more, like I was saying, more than I've ever done before. And I think that there was nothing that I could have done that I didn't do. And that also adds to the frustration of like, I literally did everything that I could. And what's hard about running Black Friday and Cyber Monday is normally if I was talking about a launch and like, let's just say that, the scalability launch flopped. Okay, well, I'm in control of the time frame and like I can always extend the launch, or I can, continue selling scalability moving forward. But when it comes to like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, there's a specific period of time that people are pulling out their wallets to buy, and it's like you can't extend Black Friday and Cyber Monday for another month or two, right? And so that's what's really hard about this too, is like in this situation where I feel like I've done everything that I possibly could, like I couldn't actually, there's not really more that I could do. Like I couldn't, like a launch or like a sale that I was, if I was running outside of Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I think that there's always more things that we can do, different strategies, different approaches, extensions, different, takes, all of these different things. But with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, it's kind of like you ramp up and you hope that it's going to work, and then you learn from it, and then you have a whole year before you're able to actually like really like take the lessons that you've learned and actually implement them. So 2026 is going to be a completely different year where I take on a completely different strategy. But that is another thing where I like have really been trying to figure out how to navigate the disappointment. And I don't think it was a failure. Obviously, just a big learning lesson. And because I do see Black Friday and Cyber Monday as a big experiment, I can't really be that mad. But of course, like, I think there's a duality here of like being grateful for the new customers that did come in and for the people who did purchase from me. Like the fact that I had 174 repeat repeat purchases is like, that's so cool and so powerful. And the fact that I did $73,000 in revenue, like I'm not sad about that, but also like holding space, like it's okay to also be disappointed, even if that there are things that are still good in this situation. And I think the biggest thing for me, the lesson that I'm pulling from this is that it gets to be simple. Like looking back on my past 3 years running Black Friday sales that have been way more successful than this year, they were way more simple. The whole approach, the whole lead up, the actual execution of the sale, the logistics of the sale, everything was so much more simple and it worked way better. And while that, like, there's a frustration there, I definitely think that going into this year with this approach of like the 5 days of deals, and how strategic I was with every single little detail, I definitely was overcomplicating things. And I think in my brain, I was thinking, because as human beings, our brain likes to do this to us. I don't know why it does, but it likes to think that more complex equals more successful, equals more money, equals more. And it's like, that is not the case whatsoever. The lesson that I keep coming back to in business, not just through this particular Black Friday launch, but just everything that I've gone through in business, is simplicity wins and simplicity scales at the end of the day as well. And so I think that for me is the message that I'm taking away from this year's Black Friday, is it gets to be simple and it gets to work simply, and simple at the end of the day is what scales. And simple is the message that I have to you, is, our brain wants to overcomplicate things. It wants to tell us that we need the most complex sales and promotions and details and logistics and all the emails and all these, fancy tools and all these different things. And it's like, that is not the case at the end of the day. And so that's the message that I would leave you with, is like moving into 2026, asking ourselves, how can things actually be so much more simple than we are making it? Now, if you're curious about a breakdown of all the emails I sent, which offers were the most successful in terms of revenue, which ones were the least successful, what I would do again versus what I'm not going to do again, what 2026 Black Friday sneak peek is going to look like, I'm going to break that all down for you inside of Scalability. I will link the link for you to join Scalability down in the show notes. You can check it out. If you have any questions about Scalability, my DMs, my emails are always open to you. But that being said, that is my Black Friday recap for you.